And welcome back to the morning show, part 2 of our Wise Guys segment. We're with U of I physics professor Matt Sullen, and we're talking about swimming in water because it's been hot outside and it seems like everybody's jumping around the pool.
Everybody likes to go to the pool.
Sure
And
they do.
Actually, I think it'd be fun to go and do a water slide thing, you know.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I know the folks at Sholem, they're great. They hooked us up so much this summer, I'm sure they'll let us come over and mess with stuff.
So this was actually suggested by a viewer, and people liked. I like it when people send in questions and things, and I can send you a little treat. And so basically, I have a question for you, and if you get this one right, if anybody can email me with the right answer, I will give you 2 tickets to go see Irving Berlin's famous musical, Annie, Get Your Gun, which is playing in Tuscola at the community building, and they were good enough to give me tickets to give away.
Nice.
Anyways, so if things float because, you know, they're more dense than the liquid they're in, then how come a big steel aircraft carrier can float? I mean, steel is obviously really dense. If you just take a hunk of metal, put it in the water, it goes thunk to the bottom.
Right.
So how come a boat floats when it's made of metal? So you can explain that to me. You will get 2 tickets.
Okay, explain how the boat floats, and that's your website.
Yes.
Matt's website. We'll put that up at the end of the segment to give you.
Right. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. This is some water, and here's a couple of sodas. I have regular Coke and Diet Coke.
Okay.
There's, you know, not Mentos this time, but something different.
We're not going to spew them inside.
If I put the Diet Coke in this container of water, it floats. If I put the regular Coke in there, it sinks.
I see.
Okay? And so what must be the case then is that this container is able to displace, you know, more than its own weight in water, therefore it's going to float. This one isn't. This one is heavier. And if you actually read the ingredients on any kind of soda that has sugar in it, like Coca-Cola, then you'll find out that this thing has 33 gram or 39 grams of sugar, and the whole thing only probably has 350 grams worth of liquid in it. So 10% of this thing or more is sugar. So it's a lot of sugar. It's heavier. If you just weigh it, it weighs a lot more than this thing does. Now, you can actually convince yourself of how things float or how this all works, because the reason this thing sinks here is that water is less dense than the stuff in here. This is more dense than water.
Sure.
What I've done over in this little beaker on the side is I've taken some water and I've just dissolved some sugar in it.
Okay.
Probably a cup and a half of sugar, so it's like making Kool-Aid or something. Okay. Now, when I put the Coke in there, it floats really well.
There's more sugar in the water than there is in the Coke.
So this liquid, you know, per gallon weighs a lot more than regular water because I have put in a bunch of sugar into it. So I've dissolved it, I've made it heavier. And if people have ever gone swimming in the ocean, you'll notice that the water's salty, but of course that also means the water is more dense. It's heavier per gallon than regular sweet water is or fresh water, so you float higher in the water in the ocean. And if you go to some place like the Dead Sea, where it's very, very salty, very high concentration of salt, that water is really heavy, and you float very high up in the water. It's very hard to go underwater in the Dead Sea. So anyways, it all has to do with density, and it all has to do with displacing liquid. And that's all floating and sinking.
Very cool.
And next time we're going to build a water balloon launcher.
Sweet.
And lob water balloons at, I don't know what yet exactly.
Well, I'm thinking Robert Reese's car is a good target.
That's always a good bet.
Good deal. All right, once again, real quickly, the contest you want people to enter.
I want people to explain to me how come a boat that's made of metal, which is obviously more dense than water, can float. And if you answer that right, I'll give you 2 tickets to see Annie Get Your Gun in Tuscola.
All right, very good. Matt Sullen, our wise guy. And if you want to answer his little question and get your tickets to see Annie Get Your Gun, you can do it at his website. There's ours. Matt's is wiseguy.net. That's where you answer the question, right there. And then you can go see Annie Get Your Gun and float on over. All right, we'll be back right after this.